intro, off-season edition. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I want to be a cat man to get Medi famous.
So, you signed up for an Ironman, you're approaching race week, now comes the big question. What the heck do I pack? So of course it's 3 disciplines, your swim, bike and run. I'm going to walk you through what I pack myself for swim, bike, run, and also a little reminder of the things that some of us forget, or the little things that not everyone thinks they need, but can be really helpful on race day. So if you're new here, my name's Madison and I'm currently 1 week out from Ironman Wales. It'll be the second time I have raced this Ironman course and only my 3rd ever Ironman. Last year I was lucky enough to qualify for the Ironman World Champs in Nice, so I raced there instead. But today, as I mentioned, we're going to go through what to pack for the 3 disciplines of an Ironman, and I hope it's really helpful for you. There is going to be a little checklist at the end which you can screenshot, or you can just write it down and use it as a checklist, and hopefully it just takes that stress away from the day. So let's go straight into it. Obviously, you're going to need your bike. So I'm going to go through this before I go through the actual kit itself. So I have got some bottles on my bike. They're obviously not full at the minute. They will be filled with nutrition for race day. But just to let you know, I have 2 bottles on the back. I have an Aero one on the frame, and then I'm going to also have one on the front. I also have this little bento box. Depending on the bike and what setup you have, you might be having your spares on here. I am set up as tubeless. I have got a spare tube in there as well as a canister, and in here I've got a little multi-tool plus some tyre levers and a gel in there currently, which I'll be taking out on the race day. So obviously making sure your bike is ready to go. I have got my kind of normal chain on the minute. Over here, which I will be packing and bringing with me, is my race chain. I have recently waxed it, it's ready to be put back on. So that is one of the first things I need to make sure that I pack, because my chain is ready to go there. So, Ironman Wales swim. Before we go into the swim kit itself, remind yourself to pack a pair of trainers. These are really old Alphas. As you can see, they've got holes in them. They're basically being held apart by a few strands. But there is about a kilometre-ish run from the beach to T1. So you will be given a bag, which you can pop these in, your pink bag. Highly recommend not doing it barefoot and popping these on, because you'll be running across the streets and it's a bit uncomfortable underfoot. So old pair of trainers, or whatever you're comfortable running in. So swim stuff. Obviously you're going to be having your tri-suit on underneath. This is my last year's tri-suit. There's a sneak peek there of my brand spanking new one underneath, which I'll be revealing soon. I am packing this as well, because I will be doing a little bike check a couple of days before, so I'll do that in my old tri-suit, and I got my brand spanking new one for on the day. Obviously wetsuit. There is no doubt that this is going to be a wetsuit swim. It's not going to be optional, so I'll be packing that. And this is something that a lot of people forget, but Body Glide can be really helpful, or some people use Vaseline, but anti-chafe stuff is pretty important, especially around the neck for myself, because I can get quite big sores there. I'll be wearing my heart rate monitor. Some people will put this on in transition. I put it on from the get-go. So that'll be on my arm. Now, of course, you'll need goggles. They will provide you with a hat, but what I tend to do is wear a hat of my own. This is my Heathwood Hoob one. And then I'll put my goggles on top of that, and then I'll put the Ironman branded cap that they give you, which is mandatory to wear, over my goggles. And I also swim, this is completely optional, but I also swim with a nose clip. I've packed 2, because what I'll tend to do is stuff one up my arm maybe, because they tend to get knocked off in the hustle and bustle of the swim. So that is swim stuff. Pop a little checklist by here somewhere, which you can screenshot. One thing I have forgotten to mention is I will have, obviously, breakfast and stuff way before the race, but I will have this about 20 minutes before I get in the water. It's got caffeine in, it'll give me a good old boost to get me through that savage swim. So moving on to the bike, which is everything in this middle section. So obviously you'll be getting to transition. You'll have run up to transition in your shoes. You'll be taking off your wetsuit when you get there. Tri-suit is already on. First thing I put on is my helmet. aero helmets in here, which is what I will be using, with or without the visor depending on the weather. I'm just going to be packing this to bring with me, because I'll probably use this on my bike check, although I might go with the aero lid, who knows. So next thing some people forget about is a towel. It is absolutely not essential, but it can be quite nice once you get into transition to pour a bottle of water over your feet to get off any sand, dry them with your towel, and then you can pop on socks if you're using them, and your cleats, and of course your race belt. Not everyone will have their cleats in their bag. Some of them will have them already on their bike fixed there. I like to, for this race, well, for most of my races to be fair, have my shoes to run in because it's quite a stony car park. So it's just a preference of mine. And then last equipment wise is your bike computer if you're using one. This will be already on my bike, but I'll be packing it within a bag for this. And then nutrition. Again, this is different for everyone. I use Beta Fuel. I get on with it well. I love these neutral ones because although they're neutral, they do have a slight sweet taste, but it's not overpowering. So it's a lot nicer than having these kind of like apple flavored or the orange and stuff. And then of course my electrolytes. I do also have some salt tabs, which I'll have in my back pocket if needed, but it's not looking like it's going to be a super hot day, and I'll probably just be fine with these. So here I'll just pop something you can screenshot. Again, you can write it down, tick it off as you're packing for your bike leg. And lastly, we have the run, the marathon. So of course, as you get into transition, you're going to be taking off your helmet, you'll be taking off your cleats unless they're already on the bike. I personally like to put a fresh pair of socks on, so I'm going to pack a brand spanking new pair of Bravs, which will go lovely with my suit. And I'll be chucking on my Alphas, which are in this bag, and then I've got obviously sunnies and a visor. Whether I'll use the visor depends. It depends on the weather. Sunnies, even if it's not sunny, it's quite nice to have them. I can always chuck them on my head if I'm not using them, but it hides the tears. And then I've got my nutrition. So I'm not going to be running with kind of a proper bottle, but I will have a couple of flasks that are squidgy. So once you've finished them, you can just pop them in your back pocket. Probably have 60 to 80 grams of carbs max on the run, and there is the option to pick stuff up on route while you're on the aid station. So this is again what I'll be packing for my run. Here is where you can find the little checklist. Again, screenshot it, write it down in your notes, and then tick it off as you go. So that is your Ironman packing list. So what I would really recommend doing is laying everything out on the ground, everything that you're going to pack. So I would also include my bottles in this and my squidgy flasks that I'll be running with. Lay them all out, take a photo of it, so then you know it's there. Because what tends to happen is you pop it all into a bag, you pack it all up ready to go, and then you think, oh my God, did I pack my race belt? Oh my God, did I pack that nutrition? Did I pack my goggles? Did I pack my trainers? And you end up unpacking everything, making sure it's there, repacking it, and then like half an hour later, you're like, oh my God, did I pack my bike shoes? Did I pack my spare socks? I've done it so many times myself. So lay it all out, take a photo, and then I would pop them into 3 separate bags. So I'd have a swim bag, I put all my swim stuff in there, tick it off. Put all my bike stuff in one bag, tick it off. Put everything in my run bag, tick it off. And then you know, even if you've got that photo and you look back, if you're still a bit unsure, then you can just go into the swim bag and just take that out, recheck it, pop it back in. What I've also done before is I've taken a picture of everything laid out, and then I've taken just a picture of my swim stuff, pop that in the bag, and it just means that you've double checked everything. And when you do get that kind of anxious feeling of, oh my God, I've forgotten something, you can go back through your photos and be like, no, it's definitely in there because I took a picture of it. Some little extra benefits, as I've already mentioned, is chafe balm or kind of Vaseline, something for the swim, a nice little towel and bottle of water in your transition to clean up the feet before you put your socks on. There's nothing worse than having a bit of grit in your shoe and you're like mid-cycle and you just can't really get at it without stopping and losing, of course, some time there. But I'd also really recommend taking chargers. So if you are using a power meter, bring your power meter charger, even if you've charged it at home. Same with power pedals. If you've got a Di2 bike or SRAM bike, bring extra batteries or the charger for it, because even though it's fully charged, just in case, hopefully nothing does, just in case something goes wrong, you've got that. It's nothing worse than being stuck somewhere and needing a certain charger. Same with your watch. That's something I didn't include in the flat lay, but mine doesn't leave my wrist, so I know it's going to be coming with me. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Give me a like if this has really been helpful for you. And if you have anything else you would pack, which I haven't listed, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. Bye. Just a little bonus here. You can screenshot these so you have them on your phone, or like I said, note them down on your phone. And I've also popped a little extra bit of kit that you can use. These of course are optional. I do recommend chamois cream, and here's a little beat the packing anxiety list. Thanks for watching. See you soon.